Mathematics of merchandising. So today we're going to look at what makes up the pricing of a product. As a product goes through the supply chain, it goes through different stages. It goes through from the manufacturer to the distributor, to the wholesaler, to the retailer, and then finally to the consumer. And what you need to know is that as it goes through each of these stages, as it goes from the manufacturer to the wholesaler, and from the wholesaler to the retailer, and then retailer to the consumer, what you need to know is that each of these stages exists because there are profit-making opportunities. As a product goes from the manufacturer to the wholesaler, the manufacturer acquires the product at a cost, and then they mark it up, and that's what we call the listed price. So the listed price minus the discount gives you the net price. That net price to the wholesaler becomes the cost to the wholesaler. And then with the cost to the wholesaler will mark it up again, and that becomes the wholesaler listed price. And the wholesaler will sell the product to the retailer with a trade discount sometimes, and so on. So as you go through each stage, there's a markup. So cost plus the markup will give you the listed price, and sometimes a discount is offered. So the list price minus the discount will give you the net price. At each stage, there's a markup, and the terminology for markup for all these three stages are the same. But when it comes to the discount, the terminology are different. From manufacturer to wholesaler and from wholesaler to retailer, the discount is called trade discount. And for retailer going to consumer, that discount is called markdown. So just different terminology for the discount. And when we look at the component of selling price, there are two key formulas that you need to know. The first formula is selling price equals to markup plus the cost. The second formula is selling price equals to profit plus expense plus cost. So cost is referring to variable cost, the cost directly related to the production of the goods. And then expense, we're looking at overhead expense, we're looking at fixed costs, which includes salaries, which includes rent, etc. So these are the two formulas that you need to know. Markup plus cost equals to selling price. Profit plus expense plus cost equals to selling price. So example 1, Dasso Jewelers sell diamond necklace for $458 less 13%. Magnifico Jewelers offer the same necklace for $493 less 25%, 19%. What additional rate of discount must Dasso offer to meet the competitor's price? For Dasso Jewelers, they're offering the product $458 less 13%, so that we have one discount. And then for Magnifico, we have two discount. We have the 25% and 19%. So right now we're going to look at the formula sheets, and I'll show you where the formulas are. So you can see that under trade discount, we have N equals to L times 1 minus D. So N is your net price, L is your listed price, and then D is the discount rate. So for Dasso Jeweler, we're going to use that equation. N equals to L times 1 minus D. So net price equals to listed price times 1 minus the discount rate. And then for Magnifico, we have two discount, so we're going to use the discount series. So when we have more than one discount rate, we have to use the discount series. So what that means is that the formula is N equals to L times 1 minus D1 times 1 minus D2, and then continues to 1 minus Dn. Right, so in our example, we have two discount rates, so we have D1 and D2. So what we have is N equals to L times 1 minus D1 times 1 minus D2. If we have 3 discount rate, then we just times it by 1 minus D3. If we have 4, then we times it again by 1 minus D4, and so on. So that's discount series. Once we know which formula we're going to use for each of them, so we have Dasso equals to 458 times 1 minus 0.13. That gives you the 398.46. And Magnifico will have two discounts, so we have the discount series. So 493 times 1 minus 25%, 1 minus 0.19. And then Magnifico will have 299.50. And what the question is asking is what additional rate of discount must Dasso offer to meet the competitor's price? So right now, Magnifico is 299, Dasso is 398. So Dasso needs to offer an additional discount rate so that the Dasso price will be 299 as well. So that's why we have 398.46 times 1 minus D equals to 299.50, because Dasso needs to offer an additional rate of discount, and that's the D that we're looking for. So once we rearrange the algebra, we take 299.5 divided by 398.46. Once you divide those two numbers, and then you 1 minus that, and that will give you the D. D will give you the 24.84%. And that is example 1.